Good morning, everybody. I want to make y'all a quick video about airspaces, our VFR minimums, and what you need to enter airspaces. Had this request from one of my followers over on the TikTok side, so let's knock this out. The format that everything's going to be in is this going to be a number, comma, three numbers. So this example, 3152, it's the one that you're going to probably see the most. It means that you need 3 statute miles of visibility, 1,000 feet above the clouds, 500 feet below the clouds, and then the 2 is going to be your horizontal distance. It's either 2,000 feet horizontal or 1 statute mile horizontal in most cases. So I used this pyramid, triangle, whatever you want to call it, for all of my writtens. As soon as I would walk into the test, I'd draw this triangle and start filling it out from the top down. So I draw the triangle, and then we do the above 10,000 feet, above and below 1,200 feet, and then I'd start here with the top with echo and golf. In echo and golf, you need your 5 statute miles of visibility, 1,000 feet above clouds, 1,000 feet below clouds, and 1 statute mile of horizontal clearance from the clouds in echo and golf. Not too complicated, and this, of course, is above 10,000 feet MSL in echo and golf. Go to the next slide. We add Charlie, Delta, and Echo below 10,000 feet MSL. You go to 3 statute miles visibility, 1,000 feet above, 500 feet below, and 2,000 feet horizontally. So Echo changed a little bit here, but just put CDE 3152. That 3152 is going to repeat a couple of times through here. So if we go on this side, remember we had the golf above 10,000 here. These are our golfs below 10,000. During the daytime in golf, it's 1 statute mile of visibility, 1,000 feet below, 1,000 feet above, 500 feet below, and 2,000 feet horizontally. Golf at night, 3 statute miles visibility, 1,000 above, 500 below, 2,000 horizontally. Now this is where golf gets a little bit weird, is below 1,200 feet. So during the day, below 1,200 feet, you need 1 statute mile and clear clouds. So that one's pretty easy. But at night, if you're within half a statute mile of the airport, you need 1 mile and clear clouds. If you're not within 1.5 statute mile of the airport, it's the same 3152 as it is for the rest of night. So 3152, 3152, 3152, 1 clear clouds, 1 clear clouds, 1152. So this is the only unique one that we've got so far. After that, we have Bravo. In a Bravo, 3 statute miles visibility and clear of clouds. The reason that we add this line here is Bravos always have their own dimensions, their own altitudes and shapes. Whenever you're in a Bravo, there's just one set of VFR clearance rules in Bravo. The altitude is irrelevant. The other thing that we need to discuss are our entry requirements. So on this chart, it has on the top, it has the shape of all of our different airspaces. So golf covers the surface pretty much everywhere, but it's really just everywhere that there isn't another controlled airspace that goes to the surface. Echo covers everything. Some places, like you can see here, you can have echoes that go all the way to the ground. Some places echo ends at 700 AGL. Some places it ends at 1,200 AGL, and those are either dotted lines or the magenta that fades on a sectional. Bravos and Charlies have that upside down wedding cake shape that people talk about, and can be customized for their space, and deltas are just a straight column. So that part's easy. Down here, what you need in order to enter the different airspaces. So Bravo, you have to have ATC clearance. Same with alpha. So they have to read your tail number and say cleared into and they'll either say Bravo or Alpha. For Alpha, you have to be instrument rated. So that's the last we're going to talk about Alpha, because most people doing this are looking for their private pilot. So we're going to focus on things that are applicable for you. For a Bravo, private certificate, or a student with the endorsement, you have to have two-way communication. You have to have an altitude decoding transponder within 30 nautical miles of the Class B primary airport, also known as the Mode C veil. And then after that, it's just those VFR requirements that we talked about before. For a Charlie, radio contact, or have an if you're on IFR, you need to have your clearance. So what radio contact means for a Charlie and a Delta is if you key up and say, Tyler Tower, N32715, 15 miles to the south, full stop. So they know you're coming in for a full stop landing. If they read back your tail number, you technically have radio contact. In Delta, that's more common that's all they'll do. In Charlies, it depends on your controller. Some of them will try and either say cleared into the Charlie, but it's not really necessary. You just need to hear them say your tail number. Student certificate for Charlie or Delta, two-way communication in both. But in the Charlie, you need to have the altitude decoding transponder within Charlie space and above the lateral limits of the Charlie. So if we go up here to this top chart, if you're flying through this Echo and you're above this Charlie, then you've got to have that altitude decoding transponder. On the Delta, you don't really need the altitude decoding transponder, but what you'll end up finding is that a lot of these Deltas, especially if you look at DFW's airspace, is you'll have these columns of Deltas that are tucked under the layers of this Bravo, so you end up needing it because of the Mode C veil of the Bravo. Echo, there's nothing that you need in order to be out there VFR, just a student certificate, and no altitude decoding transponder. And Golf, same, student certificate and no altitude decoding transponders necessary. I hope this helps answer a lot of y'all's questions. Again, just practice drawing this chart over and over and over. And when you go in to take your PAR, they give you a scratch sheet of paper. As soon as you sit down, start drawing this on that scratch piece of paper, draw the whole thing, then start your test. And that way you have this to reference for any of the questions that might ask you about those airspaces. Thanks, and let me know what y'all want to see next down in the comments.